Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. So I've got Rob Art here on Twitter, the institutional machine doing its job. Make sure retail don't buy in the macro accumulation phase so institutions can dump on them when it's time to sell. You see how this narrative is being shaped, guys? This an article from The Economist. This is from a couple of weeks ago. Now we know The Economist is owned by the Rothschild family. So obviously, elites are pushing a narrative to the masses so that they will be scared out of the cryptocurrency market. But, of course, that narrative will shift once we do see a bull market again because, of course, they need that exit liquidity, how crypto goes to zero. So, this is the headline. The meat of the article, not important at all. It's about shaping the narrative, and Rob Art has hit the nail on the head. Retail has been buying institutional bags for decades now. Guys, they want us to be scared, and they want us to exit the market, at least as of now, because they want to buy up all the cheap cryptocurrencies. I've got XRP up here on the chart right now. XRP trading at 37.8, so did come down a little bit. But by and large, guys, the market is fairly flat. Just bringing up Bitcoin here. I haven't really talked too much about market moves as of late because we really just haven't seen much. Bitcoin right now trading at 16,800. Give or take. Let me throw that on the hourly just to give you guys a sense of what we've been seeing, even just over the last day or so. Bitcoin was up above $17,000, and now it's back down to about $16,008. We haven't seen that much of a price decrease, about 2%, give or take. But in the grand scheme of things, not a huge move when it comes to the overall market. Right now, this area of support looking like another prime opportunity to maybe ladder in some of your capital. Again, not financial advice. We don't know where the market is going to go. The narrative, though, looking quite pessimistic. Here's the total market cap here. So this is all cryptocurrencies, guys, in the space, including Bitcoin. And as you guys can see here, if I just zoom out on the chart here, we are almost touching what would have been, the Bitcoin all-time high at the end of December 2017, and when altcoins really kind of hit their peak back in early January 2018. So we are hovering in here. Again, this is the total crypto market. Total crypto market right now just shy of $800 billion. And so you guys can see that there. We are basing right in there and not quite touching that former peak that we saw back in early 2018, but we are almost there. Old resistance does form new support. We did hit that support back in June, and recently we have wicked down even below that, and we're just kind of holding on there. So right now, not too much volume, so we are just waiting to see where the market moves next. Digital asset investor here posting this almost as if regulators brought the prices down for them. Now he's talking about this news story here. Goldman Sachs plans to invest tens of millions of dollars in crypto companies following FTX collapse. Well, what a convenient time to do so. Goldman Sachs plans investing in FTX hit firms. So let me just go down to that story here. Where is it down here? Okay, so just some highlights with regards to that. Goldman Sachs reportedly planning to invest tens of millions of dollars in crypto firms adversely affected by the collapse of the crypto exchange FTX. Goldman Sachs is doing its due diligence on a few crypto businesses affected by the FTX contagion. And guys, here is a quote. We do see some really interesting opportunities priced much more sensibly. This coming from Matthew McDermott, Goldman Sachs' head of digital assets. So here's the narrative. On the one hand, we've got the Rothschilds-owned Economist magazine saying how crypto goes to zero while they state the FTX story front and center. Meanwhile, we've got big American banks looking to take this opportunity to buy up crypto companies that have been negatively impacted by the FTX collapse. So, every day it makes more sense to me as to why I would think that this was orchestrated by the powers that be. Not only was it a good opportunity to scare retail out of cryptocurrency, and not only is it a good opportunity to say, hey, look, we need to regulate crypto because things like FTX cannot happen again in the future. Well, what else is happening here? It's also a great opportunity for these big banks to swoop in and buy assets that are priced much more sensibly, as Matthew McDermott says here. Moving along, though, guys, the Ripple and SEC lawsuit's also coming to a close, and the FUD, it seems, has never been greater for Ripple and XRP. It's an interesting time, too. If you think about it, why would the FUD be coming out now unless some Bitcoin maxis are feeling threatened? So this came out. Gene Hoffman, Chief Operating Officer at blockchain company Chia Network, has predicted that the U.S. Security and Exchange Commission will defeat Ripple in a closely watched legal battle that will soon stretch into its third year. The only outcome is that the federal judge will rule. This is what he said. that Ripple's sales of XRP made XRP a security. The former public company CEO says the federal judges are skeptical enough to know that most people bought XRP hoping the number would go up. Hence, the arguments of Ripple and its supporters about the cryptocurrency's alleged utility likely will not fly. So that is what he said here. And guys, I've got the tweet thread up here if you want to read further. Did you know that Bill Hinman told Ripple leadership that XRP was a security? In his opinion in 2019, neither did I. Prepare for the post, Ripple SEC loss future. Very few of the top 10 cryptocurrencies are not securities in the United States, claims Gene Hoffman. Ripple is going to lose. Show me any Section 5 case the SEC has lost in the last 25 years. So he's standing by his word here. I will link this tweet thread in the description of the video for you guys if you're interested in following Gene Hoffman's opinion. Of course, we've got John Deaton, though, coming out and dismissing Chia Network's COO claims that SEC informed Ripple executives about XRP being a security. So John Deaton has, come out guns a-blazing here. So Deaton's reaction, crypto law founder and pro-Ripple lawyer, attorney John Deaton, responded to Hoffman's statements, saying he would place this comment in a proper context. Thank you, John. Using facts, Deaton said 2 months after the controversial June 2018 Hinman speech, where the former SEC exec declared Ethereum and Bitcoin as non-securities, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse and CTO David Schwartz met with former SEC Chair Jay Clayton and Hinman to also get clear regulation for XRP. He added that on June the 13th, 2018, a day before Hinman's controversial speech, the SEC enforcement lawyers performed a detailed analysis on XRP, applying the Howey test to determine whether the crypto asset was a security. According to attorney Deaton, if the SEC were certain that XRP was a security, Clayton and Hinman would have informed the Ripple executives. However, Deaton said that the agency never told Garlinghouse nor Schwartz that the SEC enforcement lawyers found XRP to be a security. And I think at that time, they just really didn't, they couldn't wrap their heads around cryptocurrencies in the same kind of capacity that they can today. 5 years later, of course, the industry has matured. Because we got to remember, this is in a context where, by and large, the crypto industry was still in its infancy for all intents and purposes. So Deaton said that if the SEC had concluded that XRP was a security, the agency's enforcement division would have recommended a cease and desist letter be filed against Ripple or an enforcement action against the leading blockchain company. He added that the SEC would not have sat back for over a year after concluding XRP was a security and watched Ripple executives sell illegal securities to the public. So yeah, very astute observations here from John Deaton. Wanted to thank him and Mac Attack XRP for posting that. And again, guys, all these links will be linked in the description of the video. Donna Riddell here. So just kind of going on that same theme of FUD. And again, I do have a feeling it's because Ripple is on the verge of a big win, and this is going to threaten Bitcoin maximalists, all kinds of, crypto companies or crypto ideologues that are negative on XRP. So she posted this brilliant and clear analysis by Preston J. Byrne here. Economic Unreality, what the SEC ICO precedent means for Ripple. Now, this, again, just an opinion piece. So, just some dude's opinion here. The story of the initial coin offering, ICO, in American law is a play in 4 acts. So he kind of sets it up here in this dramatic way. Again, I'm not going to read this full thing for you guys, but I will link it in the description if you do want to read the full thing. So again, just kind of outlining his thoughts on this, outlining the story. If Ripple loses, as I expect it will, sooner or later, its defeat would be highly symbolic. The company and its associated protocol are among the longest running and significant cryptocurrency projects in the world. XRP is practically a household name. And then he gets into some background information back in 2018. When it was founded, it was called OpenCoin, yada, yada. Generally speaking, blockchains in the 2013 to 2015 period worked in one of 4 ways, so giving us just some background on that. And notice how he gives Ripple's descriptor, okay, proof of work, which requires computing energy to secure the network, proof of stake, which enables token holders to validate blocks, permissioned, i.e. where block creators are chosen by some entity, and the sophisticated description he gives to the Ripple protocol, that weird thing that Ripple does. So, then he goes on the UNL, or unique node list. He does give a description to it, but, he's setting this article up here ultimately as a vessel to convey the FUD. Again, almost not worth giving it the time of day. I wanted to mention, though, how many Bitcoin maximalists are in the comment section or on Twitter here agreeing. Like, we will get to Haley Lennon here, but I just wanted to also point this out. Matt Hamilton taking the opportunity to combat the FUD. Brilliant and clear. His very first sentence falsely implies Ripple held an ICO. I really love the part where he describes proof of stake, except no stake, and that thing Ripple does. I gave him some feedback on his own post. Yeah, you would have thought that the prerequisite for writing an article in which you try to reference the consensus mechanism of a blockchain as part of a legal discussion that you actually know what it does. Exactly. Okay, I'll leave this in the description. Haley Lennon here also praising this article. Matt Hamilton lashing back. The problem here is that words, especially in a legal sense, have meaning. Ripple did not have an ICO, so that was false. Your colleague can hold his breath until he's blue in the face or until he learns how consensus mechanisms work, but it doesn't change the facts. And if you want to base an argument on the economic reality is the SEC wiped vast amounts of value off the market and impacted many investors that it supposedly protects, all because it refuses to provide regulatory clarity. That is the big thing we should be focusing on here. The economic reality is that there are many individuals and companies building away on the XRP ledger completely irrespective of Ripple, something that the author of this opinion piece also fails to acknowledge. I'll leave it up to the legal minds of the XRP community to comment on the questionable legal arguments made in this article. So, I just wanted to kind of more point out the fact that the FUD is coming out as we're kind of running the last mile of this lawsuit. But I think this is good, guys. Ultimately, the FUD is not going to have an effect on the outcome. The FUD is just an indicator of, I think, how scared Bitcoin maximalists are once they know the power of Ripple and XRP are going to be unleashed on America specifically, because the United States, the biggest financial market out there, the most influential as well. So once there is clarity for XRP in the United States, I think they think it's game over, and I think they're probably right about that. Jordan Harry here posting this, whilst the rest of the world has been distracted, Ripple has continued to make moves. So guys, Cindy Young, UK and Europe, MD at Ripple, she has recently joined the Payment Association's advisory board. We know Cindy Young, managing director of the EMA region for Ripple. She has recently joined the board with some other partners, namely from Accenture, MasterCard, NatWest, Private Money, and Santander. So that's an interesting development here. And just from the Payment Association, I think this was maybe from their Facebook account or another social media account, outlining right here how Cindy Young, managing director of Ripple, has in fact joined the board along with some other partners, Santander and Accenture, just to name a couple. So Ripple executives joining high-profile organizations, namely the Payment Association, for global payments. That is always good news. I also saw this, guys, from the Cryptic Poet. BPI taps Ripple partner TeraPay to boost remittances. So another Ripple-enabled company looking to boost their bottom line, guys, is coming from the Philippines. They've teamed up with financial technology company TeraPay for remittances. Under the partnership, overseas Filipinos can send money to BPI accounts of their relatives back home through TeraPay's agents and channels. The partnership forms part of BPI's mission to continuously develop solutions for the ever-changing banking needs of Filipinos and deliver an enhanced digital banking experience, the bank said in a statement. With TeraPay's reputation in building an expansive and inclusive international financial system, BPI expects the new partnership to further drive inward remittances. TeraPay is a mobile-first global payment platform and has a network of 205 send countries and 103 receive countries globally. It is regulated and registered in 25 markets and has teamed up with banks, mobile wallets, money transfer operators, merchants, and financial institutions to facilitate cross-border digital transactions, and this with the help of the XRP ledger. Of course, TeraPay, a longtime Ripple partner. And here's a quote, guys: "We are delighted to collaborate with TeraPay to enable acceptance of real-time payments across our well-entrenched network in Southeast Asia. Our priority is to ensure the convenience of Filipinos in sending remittances wherever they are in the world. As we boost our digitalization efforts, we are keen to facilitate quick and easy adoption of remittances across the region in service of consumers seeking secure contactless payment options." So, huge news here happening in the Philippines. Wanted to thank the Cryptic Poet for posting that. And you know, as I was talking about earlier, you don't think these big bankers talk like the head over there at Goldman Sachs and Jamie Dimon, the head honcho at JPMorgan? Is crypto really a sideshow? I don't know if you guys saw this. This is a clip of Jamie Dimon on CNBC. Okay, posted by XRP Darren on Twitter. Doesn't mean blockchain isn't real or smart contracts or Web3. It means crypto that doesn't do anything are pet rocks. Listen closely to what he says in this interview. It appears like he's negative on crypto, but if you listen closely, you might actually hear a different message.
Can I throw into the mix, which I think is a small piece, but maybe you think it's a bigger piece? Janet Yellen called the failure of FTX last week a Lehman moment in crypto. I don't know if you think that's contained and doesn't matter. Yeah. Do you think it's a symbol of something larger that's happening in the economy?
Crypto is a complete sideshow, okay? And you guys spend too much time on it, and I've made my views perfectly clear about crypto tokens are like pet rocks. And there's people hyping this stuff up. That doesn't mean blockchain is not real.
Right.
That doesn't mean smart contracts won't be real or Web 3.0. But cryptocurrencies that don't do anything, I don't understand why people are spending time. But I don't think she meant it's a Lehman moment. I think she meant it's a Lehman moment for crypto.
Yes.
But crypto is worth $1 trillion. The other thing the American public should look at when you look at crypto, if you look at all the buying and selling, so Bitcoin's worth like under $1 trillion today, and we're not even sure that's a real market, by the way. There's 20 to 30 billion of ransomware a year that we know about, 20 to 30 billion of exchange costs that we know about, lots of AML, anti-terrorism financing, tax avoidance, sex trafficking. And why we allow this stuff to take place? And I think, the regulators that beat up on banks should maybe focus a little bit more on things like crypto.
All those things were doing pretty well before crypto, but
they've mitigated to the easiest place.
But it was what crypto's about 2% of the.
I know.
Let me ask you this, and this is what might keep me up at night. So
All right, I'm going to end it there. So 1.5 minutes of essentially bashing cryptocurrency. Cryptos are basically like pet rocks. The industry, I don't know why you spend time on this topic. He's asking the CNBC panel there. He talks about illicit activity, fraud, sex trafficking, all these reasons why crypto is garbage. But did you notice what he said, guys? Well, Darren Moore pointed it out.
Cryptocurrencies that don't do anything, I don't understand why people are spending time. But
cryptocurrencies that don't do anything, I don't understand why. Meaning, translation here, the cryptocurrencies, obviously that don't do anything, are going to go to zero. The same thing that Brad Garlinghouse has said numerous times before over the last several years. But the cryptocurrencies that solve problems likely will not go to zero, and those are going to be the ones to hold, guys. Goldman Sachs is on the right track. Also, this just came up yesterday, coincidentally. Ripple partner Alfardan Exchange, LLC, has collaborated with none other than JPMorgan. JPMorgan, a global leader in financial services, will work alongside the Alfardan Exchange in the United Arab Emirates to power faster transaction settlement and transfers in fiat currencies. The RippleNet partner Alfardan Exchange LLC provides money transfers and exchange services in the UAE. The outlook on XRP price remains bullish, and the altcoin is headed to the buy zone. So in and amongst this seemingly negative interview about cryptocurrencies by Jamie Dimon on CNBC, the company that he helms has just partnered with Alfardan Exchange, a Ripple company, for specifically cross-border transactions. Let's also not forget, ex-JPMorgan regulatory executive did join the Ripple board back in 2020. So this was Sandy O'Connor. She was appointed to Ripple's board back in 2020. There's an ongoing question of whether XRP is a security. Okay, combined with Ripple's recent threats to move the U.S. headquarters overseas. I guess this is all news from 2 years ago. O'Connor will provide Ripple counsel on regulatory and government matters. And again, guys, appointed former JPMorgan Chief Regulatory Affairs Officer Sandy O'Connor did in fact join the Ripple board. Not to mention what happened last year, okay? November 2021. Remember this when JPMorgan said if Ripple wins the SEC lawsuit, XRP is poised for significant adoption. So are they getting a head start on that significant adoption? I mean, the proof is in the pudding here. JPMorgan has now joined forces with a Ripple partner in the United Arab Emirates. I mean, it isn't the United States, at least not yet, but obviously they do see the value in transacting in XRP. They obviously understand that leveraging a Ripple client is going to be better for those cross-border transactions. It's going to streamline their process, boost their margins, which ultimately means more profit for the company. So, I mean, should we take his word for it?
Cryptocurrencies that don't do anything, I don't understand why people are spending time.
Cryptocurrencies that don't do anything, maybe we should avoid them like the plague. That's Jamie's opinion, my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.